Three,
Stop licking
two,
me.
one, and we're live.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Dirty Air. We decided to do a little NASCAR show and talk about the races. We like to hang out and talk crap about it and have fun with it every Sunday when the season starts. And we're officially in race season now. The Daytona 500 just happened today without a hitch. One day. It's been felt like there's a minute there where they were going multiple days there for a while, but got it done today. So season's underway. So yep, this is our new show. Start of a new season, so that means another Daytona 500. And it's not always like my favorite race of the year, but it is the beginning of the season, so there's that to be thankful for. So we figured we'd talk about it, give our opinions, and just talk about what we thought about it. There also was the California race at the Coliseum. Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
That was interesting.
Pitbull was in the house. There was a halftime concert, which I always think is a interesting way to do sporting events, particularly NASCAR. That was kind of bizarre. I don't know what the future would lie for having different events. I mean, they pulled that off well, I guess. Like, getting a track inside of a historic venue like that isn't a racing facility. I mean, that was pretty cool. I'd be super into more dirt, adding dirt to a different racetrack like Bristol. I think that's a cool thing and definitely one of the best parts of the new schedule, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like this week the music was lacking after after having Pitbull and Ice Cube on it. That's hard to beat.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how Fox has good bumper music.
Yeah, that is true. They got some good tunes over there going to the commercial breaks, which I was complimenting. Somebody over there actually has some good taste, so that's actually good. I just have a side note for Fox. If you're listening to our brand new YouTube channel where we talk mess about NASCAR on Sunday night, we need Digger back.
Bring back Digger.
We're gonna start a campaign starting here. We're gonna start a GoFundMe, a Venmo, a Cash App, all to bring back Digger. Whatever petition site we need to address or like get it to the people. It's very important that we need to bring back Digger. I need animated gophers in the middle of the race who live under turn 3, and a camera so I can see the underside of the car. And he also has a family. Is the funniest part of all. So
Is that why he's been away for so long?
yeah, he went through a messy divorce with Mrs. Digger, but we need him back. Maybe at a truck race. Maybe at maybe he could do the invocation. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, that's just a note for Fox in case you're out there watching this. Anyway, so we're back at Daytona. It's the classic start off of the season. It'll never end. It's a classic. It's like I said, I think we were talking about a little bit that it gets a bit old sometimes, maybe a little stale, but that's coming at it from, I don't remember the last exactly when you started racing. We are brother and sister, younger, older, and we've been watching NASCAR forever. It feels like, I think my first race was somewhere in the 80s, just a little background on me. So she was shortly there behind, and so we've been watching racing a long time and NASCAR a long time. But so coming from that perspective, it's just that Daytona's been around forever, and I was also mentioning, it's an old topic in NASCAR, but restrictor plates, like it feels like it just kind of makes it a little bit boring, and they kind of get clustered and they just run around lumped together for a long time, and then
For a very long
time. A lot of side by sides, a lot of crank it ups, a lot of it's a lot of laps, and we were discussing how, maybe from an outsider's perspective, you can see it's like just kind of gets a little bit tedious sometimes. It feels like it goes on a little bit long. But I just also still have the opinion that NASCAR probably won't
Ever
shorten
change.
races. I kind of wish they would. That's some of the stuff that makes me feel like maybe they run a little bit long is on the bigger tracks like that. And I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing you feel the same way.
Yeah, NASCAR's not going to change that. They love their obscenely long races, and unfortunately, it's not going to change.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I remember even hearing about a race length shortening. That's a rare occurrence. I'm sure. Let me know in the comments when the last time it was, but I feel like the last one was maybe
There is a race they're
Pocono.
shortening this year. Oh, I can't remember what it is, but there is a race. Is it Martinsville? Did they shorten Martinsville this year?
From 500 to something?
To 4, I think. Something like that.
I don't
Hold on,
know.
I'll look it up.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. Hey, fine. Go for it. I say all for it. If NASCAR is ready to shake stuff up, like the schedule like they have, the playoffs are always little getting tweaks. Let's start talking about shortened races. Or I brought up maybe chopping them up more segments. I don't know. There seems to be a problem with the bigger tracks, mile and a half up. I'm looking at you, where the racing it's long and drawn out. And I get where the sport came from and how it started and trying to see how long a vehicle could last in the endurance aspect, but it seems kind of outdated to me at this point with the sport. But I don't know. Maybe we could lose a couple laps in the Daytona. Maybe give me a Daytona 100. Hey, at least the Coliseum was over in 2 hours, even with the Ice Cube concert in the middle of it. I mean,
It's Martinsville Speedway, and it's the first time they've shortened it since 1956.
wow.
100
So
100 laps. That's
Since they've shortened that specific race, or since they've shortened any race?
no, that race.
that race.
It's very
When do
rare,
they
though.
ever shorten any races? They never do that.
It was Pocono used to have like a 500 and went to 4 or something, I think. Or
It just says I looked up racing news.
But yeah, I don't know. You said that and I remembered. Actually, no, there is a race that's going to be shortened this year.
that's
And
hey.
people were mad about it. That's why I even know that this happened, is because I read some article about people were mad at it. They were mad specifically that Martinsville is the race they chose to shorten and not something else.
There's validity to that point, but in the overall grand scheme of things, I'm not mad about it. And if that makes it easier for people to accept calling it something other than a Daytona 500 or the Coca-Cola 600 for sure is the worst of the worst. It's a 4 or 5 hour long day of racing. So that's just one thing I think maybe just doesn't come up enough in discussion with the fans about the sport sometimes, because I'm glad to see that they have like changed a lot of things in the last couple of years, like the schedule and things like that. So hopefully, they're starting to consider even more changes, which I think is a good thing for the sport. There's a lot of going fast and turning left, which we love. But, now, hey, just think about the road course invasion and how good that's gotten over the last couple of years. So anyways, I don't have a lot to say about the race. Like, it just kind of felt like another 500, even though it was a new car. I mean, obviously we noticed the speed was a little bit lower, but to me personally, I don't think it damages the racing. I think it still looked like a Daytona 500 race. There were moments of 2-car tandems, which I kind of liked. I forget when that happened in the maybe like 7-8 years ago or something, where they went down to Speed Weeks and everybody was like killing it because they were doing just only 2-car packs, which was different. But everybody got mad about it because I don't know, because we like the same Daytona 500 or something, but. As it is, it feels kind of ceremonial. It's also a fluky race. Cedric, number 2, new in the 2 seat. Was he in Cup last year? That's awful. We're talking about NASCAR.
No, he's a rookie this year.
So he's a rookie this year.
He
First
was
time.
in Xfinity,
So this is classic Daytona stuff right here. Of just a fluke. I mean, a first time. I mean, he's got good equipment. It's a number 2 car. That's not the issue. But Daytona's just attrition. That's all it is, and carnage at the end with multiple wrecks, which we saw in predictable fashion. I thought pit stops looked about the same, even though with a new lug nut.
And no times on the screen
Yeah,
throughout the broadcast of that, which we all wanted to see the pit times with these new single lug nuts.
Yeah.
And not once was that on the screen at Fox. Again, Fox, if you're listening.
Yeah, Fox. Digger. Yeah. Number one thing is Digger. No. Number 1 and 2. Number 1, Digger. Number 2, family of Digger. Number 3 is whatever we were just. So yeah, rookie won it. That's a fluky 500. It's a fluke 500. Welcome to Rowdy Nation. Like I gotta say, I don't like. You can just comment all you want. You know, a little tippy about Crybaby Kyle Busch. I don't like Kyle Busch. I don't like M&Ms. I don't like Interstate Batteries. I don't like Pedigree. I don't like Toyota. I don't like Camry. I don't like Samantha Bush. I don't like Brexton Bush. I don't like. That's fine. You guys can hate. But it's just gonna let you know in episode 1 from here on out. I'm not even. I was talking about hiding it. I'll just let you know, bro. I'm rolling them with 18. She kind of is too. She's like Chase. She's like a big chaser. I guess we can just get into that for a second. Just like I don't like Hendrick, but she likes Chase. We kind of like Chase. He seems like a nice guy. He's a tremendous talent. Great road course racer. Harder than I. Bill Elliott. How can you not like him? So. That's hard. Larson is a son of a gun. Larson is gonna be in trouble for a long, long time, and it's hard not to appreciate his talent. He's a wheelman who can drive anything. I've seen him do it. I've seen him drive sprint cars, NASCARs, anything with a motor and wheels, and he's gonna probably beat you in it. So that's what I worry about. But anyways, I'm 18. She's I guess 9. I guess we're wondering who we pull for on Sunday. So yeah, it was just another 500. I feel like, nothing that wild. Yeah, it was kind of, I thought, interesting. Oh, I guess another interesting thing was there was only one Chevy in the top 10. Daytona's fluky, but it seemed like they weren't running as strong as the others.
Yeah. Ford doing surprisingly well.
Yeah.
With these new cars.
Yeah,
and Hendrick having a bad day.
Yeah, I guess totally. I mean, 2 wrecked out, I believe, or DNF'd. And that's, hey, it's kind of interesting. Hey, man, they dominate the sport. I'm not going to sugarcoat it on my channel, this channel. Like, it's I think, definitely a pertinent issue and worthy of discussion, how much domination they show. And it's scary. So, hey, I'm a little excited to see, at least coming out of Speed Weeks in the first race and the star-studded Coliseum Ice Cube Pitbull event, that they're not out the gates dominating, because that's a worry when they have such a large budget, such a history of figuring everything out ahead of everybody else with their R&D and just deep well of money. Yes. So yeah, Kyle Busch came in 6th. I'm happy about that. Good start on the point season. Also fun to see Hendrick take a points dip on 2 other cars. 48 and 9 were the only 2 to finish. So the 24 and the 5, yeah. Hey, give them a little unhead start or something, I guess, if you will. One of the things we always talk about every Sunday, which is a passion of ours, hopefully it is yours too. I guess we'll find out if anybody watches this, is paint schemes. Particularly talking about them in length and how either exciting or boring they might be. We're looking at them all day, as we're talking about them, like 500 miles, sometimes 500 laps. Get to look at these cars pretty well, as long as you're top 20. If you're in the top 20, 25, or getting a good wreck. But if you're getting a good wreck, you might get on TV. Don't show always the back runners, which sometimes have the best paint schemes. Anyways, we're going to talk about paint schemes. Sometimes it doesn't matter who comes in first, especially if it's a rookie on a new driver with a not so exceptional paint job that we've seen a million times. Or Penske will get to you on the worst list. Number 1. So we just kind of jotted them down. We're kind of just flowing. We'll figure we'll do a top 10 for the races. This week, surprising number one car. We called it immediately, I think, from the go, just because it was such cool colors, was number 27 Villeneuve in the Woody's Wash Shack. Mm-hmm. Also, interesting alliterative sponsorship title out of left field. Not a Pennzoil, not a Shell. And it had a sort of turquoise and orange kind of paint scheme. Our other top 10, like I said, in no particular descending order here, would be number 47, the Irish Spring car. It's normally the Kroger car. Also interesting that there are one car operations. Sometimes that the paint scheme's always the same, but like for some reason I like the Irish Spring on this one. Like I use that in the morning, and it has a good lather. Number 44 was another immediate entry on the list, was Biffle. With a Grambling State University car, the random occasional university sponsorship, which you see from time to time, but it was orange and black cat striped.
Yep, great color combination.
Cincinnati Bengals, shout out! We almost got the Super Bowl. We're up in Ohio too, by the way. Midwest, shout out. So yeah, the cat car was easy pick. Number 20, DeWalt car. It was a change on a classic. It was kind of like the classic DeWalt thing, but just looked good on the car. With the layout of the number, it's also changed the way the paint scheme looks.
And that car's one of several cars that had the metallic numbers this year, which looked great.
Yeah, the metallic numbers is awesome. Big super fan of that. Maybe there's only 4 people can have them. I don't know, but maybe it's the Coca-Cola Racing family. I don't know.
No, it's definitely not the Coca-Cola Racing family.
Well, it was only a couple of drivers.
It was 6'8", 20, 21.
Okay, that sounds about right. But yeah, I thought that was cool. That was a change. I haven't seen it in Cup for a long time. It's kind of like an old school vibe, but I really liked it. I thought that looked sharp. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, number 50 of the Mayweather car. There was Pit Viper shades, which are like kind of goofy, like Oakley wraparounds. I believe who's the one rapper who's all about those? Some rapper.
Endorsed by
Wood Brothers 21 classic. I can't ever get mad about that paint job. It's been running on the track since the 1960s. Going back to David Pearson, second most winning driver ever on one of the longest running teams ever. So I can't get mad about it, and there's not a lot of competition on the top 10 paint list.
Yes, we struggled to come up with even 10 paint jobs to commend this week.
This is out of the gates, race number 1. It was the same schemes as the Coliseum. Didn't even have different paint schemes.
No.
Special event race for LA. You could have had Scarface car. You could have Jurassic Park car. E.T. Stranger Things. Whatever you needed. Like, no special themes, anything. No. And then this week, come out the gate, we had to sit down for extra 10 minutes to think about and look through J-Ski again. So make sure we got the list right, or whatever. Because, yeah, there's a lot of boring paint schemes, man. And you'll probably hear us talk about it a lot, because it is part of our show. .com. I don't know if that's witches.
Not sure exactly what's going on with that sponsor, but I appreciated the color use.
Yes, those are well-placed colors. With kind of just a traditional like black with color accents.
So this is Hex.com is a crypto swap site.
Sick, bro! Lose all your money in crypto on the Hex.com card.
All right.
It turns out it is.
All right, hang on it. Hey, let's cut. Free shoot. Also making the list is JJ Yelly's 55 car. Hex.com, which unfortunately has nothing to do with witches and is actually about cryptocurrency.
No, it's actually Bitcoin witches.
It's its
no,
own
I think
Hex is its own crypto.
Hex is its own.
Yeah,
Jesus,
they
Mary
running an
Joseph.
exchange. I'm looking at it. Connect your wallet, trade Ethereum for whatever Hex is. But,
so Hex is another Dogecoin.
Yeah. So I'm like, are we gonna start getting?
It's a NASCAR Dogecoin.
Hey, we're knocking JJ Yelly off the list.
Wait, no, we don't have a list. He's on it for color use.
Hey, get excited about about this. We're probably going to see more of these. It's probably going to be like the Nigerian Prince scams that F1 is currently.
It's all going to be Bitcoins and DoorDash and dildos and
oh my God!
and energy drinks.
We
And
didn't
energy
see
drinks.
Lady
Number 99.
Suarez with the Tootsie's car, which threw us all for a loop watching tonight.
It was like a light pink.
Purple.
Pinky purple, powder purple.
Yes.
It's like a powder.
A honky
Lavender.
tonk venue.
About a honky tonk venue
But
called Tootsie.
And it was a nice, unusual color.
It was different, something different. Mix them up.
Nice to see something besides the same old blue, white, boring cars. I'd also like to honorable mention to Denny Hamlin. I feel this year's FedEx
Changing it up.
paint scheme is a big improvement over last year's. Last year's FedEx
All
car
white.
regularly made our worst list.
It's true.
Just boring, boring, boring.
Just gotta step up the paint, guys. You're spending all this money on these corporate sponsorships and these multi-million-dollar contracts, and then somebody's like, "Man, make it white with a sticker." So I don't understand. And lastly on the list, might come up often, Kyle Busch.
Yes. Eminem's car, classic. Can't go wrong.
Makes me want chocolate. Makes me think of victory and championships. 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
About 70 wins. Delicious. So that would lead us directly there into some of the worst. Now this is also going to be a reoccurring theme. Big dogs, we're looking at you. All 4 of them. Hendrick cars.
You got all the money in the world and you can't hire an art department. Disappointing, as always. HendrickCars.com. Boring.
You can go fast. You can win. But you gotta have a good-looking goddamn race car.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn out the most consistently boring cars in the sport. Weekly. Same paint scheme. Never change color. Never change sticker.
The one they did change was for the worse.
Woo.
Alex Bowman's car last year was actually pretty damn good. I liked the purple, and
Exalted.
it was something different. It was some drug. He's some drug pusher. I can't remember which drug. And now it's downgraded. It's not a terrible paint scheme this year, but it's yet another white car.
Too many, it's just
Too many
boring.
white cars, not enough purple cars. You'd stand out in a purple car.
Can't find your
You're
car.
paying-
Where's your car at?
You're paying millions of dollars to put your name on a car, and I can't even see it. Can't even notice.
Another car that is kind of a repeat offender along with all of Hendrick's cars is Eric Almirola, that number 10 car. It's kind of like black and white and gold, which is actually like decent, like beginning of a paint job, but like it's just boring in Smithfield or whatever. Put a sausage patty and some eggs on that son of a gun. Let me know what's really good. So on the list, I got Penske. Penske cars are always kind of meh. We've been doing the same thing over there long time. Mm-hmm. Number 2 car winner of the race.
Boring.
Nothing exciting about that paint job at all. It's nothing to look at. I wouldn't buy a shirt with that. I don't want the bumper sticker. I don't want a flag with that car on it. I don't want to wear that shirt. I don't even want to support that business. That's how unexciting that is. That tire discounter or whatever the fart it is. And then what's 22 Shell or whatever. And Shell's got like cool colors, and I don't mind like the, I guess stripes on the side. I forgot what like scallops. Yeah, the scallops on the car look cool, but it's just kind of been done so long that it's just. And then there's probably about like 28 other cars that all have boring paint.
Yeah.
Because it's really funny. This was sort of almost the impetus of us talking about making a show, talking about NASCAR and stuff like that. Besides having watched it forever, is like, man, remember how paint used to be interesting? And like, man, look at it around a lot of times and talk about the paint. So we figured we'd start ranking them, and maybe they'll take notes. Maybe they'll listen to us. Fire and Ice, obviously, need to call us. Popeyes, we feel like should be in the sport. There's a couple things we would love to see in the sport. There should be a Bojangles car. I believe fried chicken is not widely represented enough in the NASCAR sponsorship dollar today, and it should be there. There's a couple others, but yeah, we like talking about paint schemes and we like talking about the race. Hopefully you guys like it too. I wish I had more to say, honestly. Obviously, we're trying to get used to talking and doing this in front of an audience, as it were. So it might take us a minute to get in our little groove. But we feel like we got some funny things to offer to you. I feel like thinking about the race now that it's in season. There's not a lot of NASCAR coverage out there. So maybe we can give you a little bit of our take on it. We are out for this week. What is next week? California.
Mm-hmm.
California coming up. Midwest. West Coast. I wear Midwest. They're doing the Midwest. They're doing the West Coast swing. Isn't Phoenix after that one?
No, it's
Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. So it's the westerly. Some of the westerly tracks to kick off. Warm weather, like we said. It's still cold out here. So it's at least exciting to have NASCAR back. It kind of makes it feel like spring's on its way. So pretty soon, hopefully, it'll be summertime drinking beer at the track. And maybe we'll get to share some of that fun stuff with you guys, too. So all for now this week. First Daytona 500 on the books. And we are Dirty Air. And we'll see you on the next episode. Room!